IPTV seller possibly to get up to 15.5 years in prison. And as quoted by Firestick when he done this video on his, so make sure you follow Firestick. It's good to bring this news to our attention, is that IPTV, a grey area in America. Selling IPTV, yeah, you're allowed to do it. It's a grey area. This clearly shows it's not. And before we get into that, if you can, do remember to hit that subscribe button. Remember, hit that share button if you're a regular watcher, and I'd love to hear your thoughts underneath in the comments. So do you all remember Omi? Omi in a Hellcat is his YouTube channel. Omi, Gears TV, Gears Reloaded. Tons and tons of people use that service, or that service was resold. They had an FBI raid probably a couple of years ago now. We covered videos on it back then. Those videos have gone now, to be fair. So what is going on? US government, Omi in a Hellcat should serve 15.5 years for pirate IPTV scheme. There's quite a lot of information in this. There's a couple of things I really want to point out to you guys which are quite important as well as we get near the end, so do stay tuned. In September 2021, a grand jury returned a 62-count indictment charging Omar with crimes related to his Gears branded IPTV service. Better known online, like I said, as Omi in a Hellcat, ran an illegal internet-based television and movie streaming service using video content fraudulently obtained from cable providers. From March 2016 through till November 2019, and his co-defendants opened fraudulent accounts with TV providers, Comcast, DirecTV, etc. These companies supplied hundreds of set-top boxes and similar equipment to multiple properties owned by them. At these locations, content supplied by the TV providers was then copied, stripped before transmitted it online, and that's kind of how IPTV is working. In the sentencing, they calculated that it's all worth around $176 million. So Omar personally profited from the conspiracy in an amount of $30 million. That's mad. $30 million. Sometimes you go too big, you're going to get caught. So there's a huge list has finally come out of the actual crimes. And the list goes through so much stuff. From fraud is always in there. Money laundering, that sort of stuff, all around the money, because it's really hard to hide that sort of amount of money and where it's coming from. So you've got 6 counts of wire fraud. This is on top of the copyright infringements, criminal copyright infringements, and DMCAs. 3 counts of false statements to a bank. 19 counts of monetary transactions from specified unlawful activity. 2 counts of false statements. 2 counts of removal of property. And finally, 4 counts of tax evasion. And this is where it becomes, yes, I know we talk about the IPTV being the key thing in here because there's a lot of copyright infringement. There's always fraud tied into it. Always tax evasion, always fraud. We will link this article directly underneath if you want to have a read through. If you're interested in it, there's a lot of information there. The interesting bit was a bit further down for me. Was here they talk about a lot of how much money they kind of cost the companies. So they times the amount of subscriptions by how much they were selling it for. So this one had, they reckon, had 1.8 million subscribers a month. Okay, at $19. So there was the $221 million of infringements. That's what it would have cost the TV companies. The interesting part I found on here was one of the approaches they looked at using a customer database. This was the worrying part. A customer database seized from the defendants, which doesn't have the start end dates, but it has obviously the customer details. They had 148,000 customers on there, purchase subscriptions from the reseller. Then obviously use that to multiply by the costs and find out the price. The interesting part there was the customer database. Because remember, when you sign up for a service like this, you will sign up probably with a name, username, whether you use your official name or username or not. It will normally have your IP address because they will know if you are logged in or not, because these sort of services only allow, say, 1 connection at a time. And for it to allow 1 connection at a time, it must know it's your account and 1 person's logging in. The IP addresses are there. Bank details. If you use official bank details, they'll be there, or official PayPals, they're going to be there, all in there. So there's always a log. This is why it's always very interesting to be careful on this sort of information and what you give to people in this industry. Whether you give your credit cards, your PayPals. Obviously, as a user, I've still seen no signs of any user ever being done, caught in trouble. If you're ever thinking of selling it, obviously the advice would be no. If you're ever thinking of it technically, obviously we have to say we are not involved in any IPTV and we would recommend you not using it, obviously. But if you do use an IPTV, keep yourself safe. Don't give your information out. Try not to give your bank details out. Do not give information out there. Do not sign up for long contracts which could just take your money and cancel straight away. Who are you to know if these services are official or unofficial? So just take those key points and do keep an eye out on it. It's very interesting. This one was out in America. There's obviously loads of cases of it running through Italy. Lots of cases like it run through the UK. Very often about IPTV sellers getting raided, arrested, computers taken. Then obviously there's accounts taken as well. Personally, whether you get done for it or not, I like to keep myself safe online. I'd like to keep my information safe. So if I ever do connect to any sort of internet website, obviously official, I like to use a VPN. That's my choice. Again, I'm sure many of you already know that by now and you use a VPN anyway. If you are after a VPN, we do have one linked underneath. This is a partner of ours. NordVPN is a partner of ours. We talk about this on every single video at the end. This isn't specific to this video about the IPTV. This is specific to what we talk about because we have partners. We have sponsors, we have partners, and we work with NordVPN. If you are after a VPN and you did want to help support the channel and let us bring you more information, whether it's news, whether it's streaming apps, whether it's Cody, whether it's boxing, whether it's football, how to stream Firesticks, that's what we do. If you wanted to support the channel in that way and you need a VPN at the same time, consider using one of our links underneath. We have a few different VPNs linked under there if Nord isn't the one for you. Do check them out. Do check out our website if you're after any streaming apps, everything like that. Do check it out. There's tons of content there. There's tons of content to keep yourself safe online, all linked directly underneath, ready to go, ready to be used. Nord offer does bring you malware protection, adware protection, tracker and ad blocker. This is keeping your information safe. It will change your IP address when you go online, and then you are safe to use whatever you want online. Within reason, obviously. You know, it's there to be the middleman. It's there to be a middleman. Doesn't mean you can go online and break the law. That's not what it's there for, but it is there to keep your information safe, help you stop being restricted online, stop the internet restricting what you can access, or that sort of stuff. That's NordVPN linked underneath. Everything else you might want is on the Docs With You channel. Drop me your thoughts on what's going on in that case. I'll also link the website for Torrent Freak under there where you might want to read about it. Let me know your thoughts on that, because I know a lot of you probably have followed this story over the years. It's a very interesting one. Hopefully, with hope, share a little bit of light on it. Brilliant. I've been Doc Squiffy. Do remember to follow me, hit share. All my socials are underneath if you're interested, and a Discord if you want to talk about anything. And I'll see you soon.